Hot mess on wheels.
It's true.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Lisa just said we look like a hot mess on wheels.
At least we're going places.
I'm like, oh, I've never, that's a great new expression. Hot mess on wheels.
We're going places.
Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about if you build an offer, will they come? I was just thinking, like, we get this question a lot from clients that come to us, and they have this. I think it's fear. I think it's mostly fear that I have this great idea, and I want to hire you guys to help me bring this idea to life, which we're brilliant at. But will it work? And the answer is we don't know. Nobody knows. Right, until you put it out there into the universe and you actually build the sucker, and then you get it out there and you go, oh my God, I built this thing. Do you want to be part of it or not? And the simple answer is we don't really know. But the good news is we know how to combat, how to test, how to make it survive the test of time to actually prove if it's actually going to take off or if it's going to actually work for whoever your audience is. And maybe your audience today isn't the right audience, but maybe you can find the right audience and push that sucker into actual existence and make it take off and work. So we've done this hundreds of times, probably, I wouldn't say 1,000, maybe 1,000, hundreds of times at least. We've built out offers, we've built out products, we've built out memberships, courses, you name it. Anything in the marketing realm, we've built pretty much anything.
Yeah.
So today, Lisa's really good at this. I'll let her chime in too.
You're so complimentary today.
But
so nice, honey.
But it is one of the biggest things clients say to us. If we build this, is it going to work? And
so that's one of their biggest feers.
It's one of their biggest fears. And we were talking before we went live, and I said to Lisa, I said, your show, I said, is a great example of, I think, when clients are hesitant to start to build.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lisa started her show, and from my perspective, I don't want to talk for you, but from my perspective, she started the show and I already knew, knowing Lisa, knowing who she is, knowing what she does when she commits to things, this sucker's going. It's going. I don't know how. I don't know where we're going to get the money. I don't know how we're going to get the right coaches, the right team, the right people, the right players, the right how she's going to learn how to sing, how she's going to learn how to play piano, how we're going to get a piano back there.
Like you're saying when I made
this was the decision.
This is what I was doing.
Yeah, this was the decision Lisa made, and I knew it. And this is similar. Like if Lisa was a client, I would see it. I would see the passion. I would see the decision. I would see the excitement, and I would say, "This sucker's going. It's going." Here we are, over a year later, probably a year and a half.
Year and a
half later.
Not even 2 years yet.
And this sucker's just getting started. It's just getting warmed up. A year and a half.
And like every day working on it. Like every day.
Every day, something. If it's not training, if it's not writing, if it's not making new songs, if it's not hopping on calls with, John Louis, if it's not hopping on calls with Drew Lawrence, all these people who Lisa have brought into her dream to bring it to life. Mm-hmm. I see it. I get the joy of seeing it and seeing the hard work and dedication and the day in, day out training. And today, to this very day, it is still a work in progress. It is still Lisa figuring out where is this thing going? Where is it going to go? Where is it going to end up? My point is, a year and a half.
Yeah.
And she's still in the grind working this thing and bringing it to life. But the passion is still there. The love is still there. The dedication is still there. The money is kind of still there. We keep adding to it. But that's part of the dream. And that's part of the business, right? That's part of the business. Of course, at the end of the day, you have to have a hard stop at some point. You may finances are finances. We can't talk about it. We've had clients who've invested lots of money and then just said, it didn't work. We've had other clients who have invested lots of money, kept it going for years, and then finally had the big payoff.
It's an investment, because think about who you become and what you learn and what you do in that, I am by far a completely different person from who I was a year and a half ago.
I agree. Who you grow and who you become, right? The growth you see from this.
Yeah. It's made me a better speaker, business strategist.
Yeah.
Because when you can take those skills and you can apply it elsewhere, it's an investment in yourself.
Even a better mom and wife. Like, because it's joy, right? Because now
to have a different perspective on life, to have a different perspective on the way I see things.
And we didn't know, so we've gone to Los Angeles, Hollywood, we've gone to
New York City.
Where was your first show?
That was like Thousand Oaks
area. I can't remember what it's called.
Where's the White Fire? Sherman Oaks.
Sherman Oaks.
We've
gone to New York City. We've gone Hollywood,
Hamilton, Ontario.
Hamilton. Here. And it's still going. Like, we never, when Lisa committed to this dream, we never thought of that. We never thought that's where it's going to take us.
I never thought I'd end up in New York City.
Twice within a month.
Too, I know.
Crazy,
so cool.
Crazy. So back to the business side of this.
Yes.
So if you have an idea, you have a dream, you have
something,
you're sitting on it. That's a big ass scary thing that you're probably sitting with, and we get it, and we just want to acknowledge you that if and when you decide to make this thing happen, you tell the universe. So this is woo woo, but this is how we become. I feel I've become like this. I'm so woo woo.
You never used to be like this.
So woo woo.
Sometimes the things come out of your mouth, and I'm like, look at you.
Maybe I'll put this out there today. Maybe I'll put this out. So we're going to get a pool. I haven't started the process because I know once I start it,
once you put it on paper,
it's gonna happen.
And you call people.
I already know. Yeah, I already did start it, but I halted it.
We were a little busy with my show.
Like I had a landscape designer, a friend, come look at our property. Anyway, the idea was that's all you need to do. So we're giving you the permission to acknowledge that idea. And
go ahead.
No. Yeah.
No, finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Okay. I'm giving you permission to acknowledge that and take that first step. Take that first step, whether that's writing it on a piece of paper, telling your family, your friends, whoever it is, that's your next step. And then asking for help. I don't know how to do this. I have no clue how to do this. I want this. I have passion for it. I want to jump in with both feet, both arms, my head, my whole body, and do this thing. And it's going to come true.
Yeah. I always say it's not a question of how, it's a question of who.
Yeah.
So when I said I want to have this solo, which I didn't even know was going to be a musical, this solo show, which is now morphed into a musical, when I drew it out and put it on paper, like you were just talking about, I went, how the hell am I going to do this? And because I kept asking the question, how, I lost 3 to 4 months of just floundering, going, how?
Am I going to do this?
Am I going to do this? And then when I said, who do I need to hire? Who do I need to ask? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to reach out to? Who can help me?
Yeah.
That was when I feel like I just blinked and I've never turned back with this thing.
Here we are.
So that's the power of flipping that question to not how the hell am I going to bring this into the world? Who do I need to hire? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to be? And give yourself permission to play the long game. So what's the answer when people say, how do I know this is going to work? I always say to people, the only way it's not going to work is if you quit, is if you give up, is if you take yourself out.
Yep.
Because the more that you, as you were just talking about with my show, the more you get in it, the more you tweak, the more the right answers come to you. You don't know what's right until you've done it wrong. Or you don't know what's right until you get out there and you start to go, yes, that's working, more of this. That's how my show went from a 6-song musical to now an 11 song, musical.
Yep.
Everyone's like, we love the music. We love the storytelling, more music. I started to go, I'm getting better at singing. I like writing songs. I like changing this scene into a song. It's so much more impactful.
See how excited she's getting?
Oh
See?
God, I love my show so much.
So
a
just,
year and a half later, and I still love it every single day.
So just quick, that brought up a thought that I had too. Like, so long term, and you know, you've probably seen these drawings of people who are like, oh my God, where I started, where I am today. Look at this, it's weird. Where I am today, and then you see all this. Like, exactly. That's it. That's what I call like organized chaos. Like it's like looking at someone's desk and just seeing it exploded, and you're like, come on.
I think the people that are successful are the people who are willing to withstand that.
Yeah.
Who are that first time a turn goes this way, they don't backpedal and say I'm out.
Even I just saw a great like Instagram meme where it was like Steve Jobs and who's the guy they started
Steve Wozniak?
Yeah, Steve Wozniak.
Wozniak?
Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. And it showed them like in their garage with the first Apple computer, and they're like where they were and where they are now, and it showed the new Apple headquarters.
Oh my God.
Like exactly. Like it's unbelievable what you can achieve when you just stick with it.
And you get the right people on your team.
Your right team. You build that team. Don't sit in it. Don't try to do it yourself.
When I was saying my thank yous after New York City, I remember I made a Facebook post because I'm on a little bit of a, thank goodness, finally, after 14 shows in 4 different cities and 9 months of touring, I'm on a little bit of a break until February. Well, I'm not even on a break because I'm still like rehearsing and planning and prepping.
You're on a performance
break.
Yeah.
I was like basically saying thank you to all the people who have helped me in the year. And I had like 15 people between my director, my producer, my singer-songwriter, my choreographer, my tech people at all 4 venues, all the theater owners, all the organizers,
the rental company.
I couldn't believe how many people I've helped employ and how many people publicists who helped me.
Yeah,
I just couldn't believe how many people I've got on board to help me bring this thing to life. So if you're flying solo, you can still do it possibly, but it's going to take you way longer to figure it out on your own than when you get help. And the longer you're in the slog and the longer it feels like you're not making progress, it's easier to quit.
Yeah.
It's easier to give up when you feel like you've been slogging every day and it's going nowhere. So if you're in that, get help.
Yeah.
If you're feeling, I mean, even me, I decided to be this dream at 39. If you're working the same business, doing the same thing, and it's starting to feel mundane and boring, create something new.
Yeah.
You know, open your minds about what's possible. Maybe it's time for a reinvention. And if you've had, again, how do you know if you build it, they will come? If you've had success in the past, you can bet that you're going to have success in the future. If you've already, like even for me, I'm like, I know this show's going to be a success because I know how to get shit done, and I know how to bring things into this world, and I know how to finish what I start.
And maybe the other thing to think about too is maybe that thing isn't necessarily about money.
The show ain't about money for me. That's
you know
for sure.
What, like I'm just thinking because like we don't know where you're at, what you're thinking, what your big idea is, you know. And at first, you know, Lisa's show, you know, it was a dream, and then you bring it to life. You go through the first experiences of it, and then that changes you. Then you're like, I did this thing. It's really cool, but I don't know if that's the thing. You know, is that the thing that's going to be next? And then the next thing happens and you're like, oh, that was different. That was different than the first time I did this thing. Now it's changed again. And then it becomes, and then somebody says something to you, right? Like, so Lisa had somebody say something to her that was, have you ever thought about doing this with this?
Yeah.
Whoa, like, kapow, your brain just explodes. You're like, oh my God.
Other people see visions for you that you don't see of yourself.
And if Lisa didn't do the first thing,
right,
to do the second thing,
right,
to then the third thing,
right,
she wouldn't have got it. She wouldn't have got that thing.
Was there ever a point where you were like, why are we doing all of this? Dear God, this woman's going to kill me with this show?
Yeah, but not to the degree of like, let's give up. It was always wow, this is hard. Like, this is a lot of work. This is money. This is travel. This is time. This is a lot. Like, behind the scenes, like we're creating ads, we're creating marketing material, we're doing the brochures, the little playbills. Like, we got to get them printed. We got, okay, do we get them shipped? Do we bring them with us? There's so
we don't even need
much.
to get into it, but there's so many behind the scenes things that you see when you go to see art, when you go to see someone's solo show. Just give them a big hug and say, I'm so proud of you after, because you have no idea what goes in. It's beautiful and it's amazing, but yeah, there are a lot of moving pieces, especially when you're in the when you're on Broadway. There's all sorts of people doing all sorts of things, and you get to stay in your lane.
Yeah, what's the reference? Like, what does Bo say?
Al Pacino doesn't. No. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra doesn't move the piano. When you're in our world, you're buying the piano, you're bringing the piano, you're renting a piano, you're tuning the piano, you're setting up the piano,
you're paying the piano player.
Yeah. But again, to me, having that appreciation, not bitching about that.
No.
And having that appreciation that the day when my show gets on Broadway or I get on Broadway, when that happens, the amount of appreciation I will have for people when I see someone else moving the piano, setting up the piano, the lighting, the costume design, the hair, the makeup, the marketing, when you've been through it, when life is not handed to you on a silver platter, when you have to go through those trials and tribulations and those ups and those downs and this whole thing we were talking about, that makes the celebration and the success so much more sweeter, because you recognize what got you there. And I remember when I was a nurse, one of my mentors said to me, don't ever shit on the housekeeper, because you never know one day when the housekeeper can work their way up and become the CEO of the company. And they're going to remember. And then she also said, and also remember that I worked in the intensive care unit, where you can imagine there were all sorts of bodily fluids and things. And she's like, also, if you crap on the housekeeper and you think they're better than them, the next time you have a kapow, watch how slow they move to help you. Yeah. And I was like, it's so true. So it's like, no matter where you're at, you have to have appreciation for that, but B, you also have to be gracious and kind and say thank you to the people who are helping you along the way. Because without them, without my choreographer, without Drew, Pamela, my choreographer, without Drew, my songwriter, vocal coach, my show, Penis, my show wouldn't be as good as it is. Without my director, Heather, without my producer, Jessica, without John Louis, my movement coach and acting coach, things would not, without you.
Without Eric, the chauffeur.
Exactly. Without you, could you imagine, we don't need to get into that today, but could you imagine if you were like, this is dumb, why are you doing this? This is a lot of time. This is a lot of money. We're not spending money on that. We're not going to New York City. Like, you want to go to New York City? You go yourself. You go. Have at it, honey. That would be a totally different experience. So be thankful for the people that are doing any little or huge bit to help you in your dream. You need them all, and thank them all. Be gracious and have gratitude.
So post below your big, scary, hairy dream thing that you're thinking of right now that you're like, I can't say it.
It's a perfect time to be thinking about.
Oh God, it's so good. Yeah, it's even the time of year. Going into the new year, like it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and just breathe it in and just write it out.
Ooh, I should have a bumper sticker. Breathe it in and write it out. Right next to, this is a hot mess on wheels.
Oh boy. Put your one-liners below.
And we're here to help. We're here.
Absolutely.
We're here in the most blunt way. We're here for hire. Like, you don't have to
do it alone.
Do it alone. Stop asking, how am I going to do this? We can be your who. Yeah. Who do I need to contact?
And that's the thing. You don't have to have this. You don't have to have this perfect finished idea
No.
that's like, hey, I got a 1, 2, 3, 4. No, like
Like I said,
that's the
yeah.
help. That's the part that
Help you
need.
craft it
Yeah.
and mold
How do I do
it
that?
and
What do I do?
make it something.
Yeah.
You just get to be the visionary, which is really cool.
Yes.
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 I think
So comment below, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.